Have you ever felt guilty just for doing nothing? Someone asks, "What are you up to?" And answering just sitting here feels like confessing a tiny, shameful sin. We immediately add an excuse. But later I'm going to do this and that, as if stillness needs to be defended. We grew up in a culture that treats boredom like a disease that has to be cured instantly. But what if I told you, gently, like an old friend who truly knows you, that boredom isn't the enemy we have to fight? It's actually the doorway we've been slamming shut because we're scared of what's on the other side. Boredom is not laziness. It's not procrastination. It's the most honest, empty space we have in life. The moment when every distraction disappears and we finally come face to face with ourselves again. Running from it is the same as refusing to let the soul breathe. If this reflection is already echoing in your chest, maybe it's time we walk a little deeper together. Turn on the notification bell and join the Metasitta channel, not just to receive these thoughts, but to help grow a safe space where many hearts are learning it's okay to give silence permission to stay. From the time we were little, we were trained to see boredom as a mistake. Remember saying innocently, "I'm bored." The reaction was instant. Parents or teachers would jump in. "If you're bored, go play outside. Do your homework. Help mom. Clean your room." Sometimes the tone was soft, sometimes firm, but the core message was always the same. Boredom is not allowed. Boredom equals useless. Boredom equals something that must be fixed immediately. That message sank so deep it became an unconscious belief. Stillness is dangerous. So as adults, we became experts at filling every crack of silence. Phone always in hand, earphones always in, screens always glowing. We're not just filling time anymore, we're escaping time. Because when we truly stop, something strange starts happening. We start to feel. And feeling can be terrifying. Carl Jung observed with deep compassion that our conscious mind works overtime to keep the shadows suppressed. All the parts of ourselves we deem unacceptable, too heavy, or too painful, unfinished grief, regrets still peeking from dark corners, the big questions about meaning, love, loss, and death. As long as we keep running in busyness, the shadow stays asleep in the basement of the soul. But the moment we stop, the moment boredom knocks, it refuses to stay quiet. It starts whispering, then speaking, then sometimes shouting. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. Carl Jung. We often confuse two very different things: procrastination and boredom. Procrastination is avoiding one specific task. Boredom is facing everything that lies beneath the surface of everyday life. Our culture teaches us that every second has to be productive, as if empty time is wasted time. That's an incredibly expensive misunderstanding, because by constantly avoiding boredom, we're actually avoiding ourselves. And in the end, we lose connection with what's most real in our lives. Close your eyes and imagine this. When you're truly bored, not just waiting for the bus or standing in line, but genuinely out of distractions, what happens? The outer noise slowly fades. The to-do list blurs. Notifications stop buzzing. All that's left is space. Space that at first feels threatening, cold, even scary. But that space is actually the most fertile ground for deeper truth. The place where intuition is born, where creativity finally breathes, where the soul is finally allowed to speak. It's the same space Zen monks have sat in for centuries. The same space little children use to build limitless imaginary worlds. The same space Einstein daydreamed in for hours until the seed of relativity appeared. The same space Newton sat in under the apple tree until gravity spoke to him. The same space poets, painters, and great inventors received their revelations, not while they were busy, but precisely when they were doing nothing. Modern psychology confirms it. The brain has a default mode network that only lights up when we're not focused on external tasks. It's the brain's dream machine, stitching memories together, connecting intuition, creating fresh insights. When we give it empty space, the brain doesn't stop working. It starts working deeper, more creatively, more healingly. The spirit of the depths spoke to me. You must let emptiness be emptiness. Only then can it become fullness. Carl Jung, from the Red Book. Jung adds an even deeper layer, and this is what often scares people. In that empty space, the shadow doesn't just knock. It walks right in. Old, unprocessed emotions rise to the surface like bubbles from the bottom of a lake. Grief held back for years, anger never spoken, dreams abandoned on the roadside, shame still lingering from childhood. At first it feels like an uncontrollable flood, but Jung teaches with tenderness that flood isn't destruction, it's integration. Only by looking at the shadow can we bring it into the light of awareness. And that awareness is true awakening. Ironically, it's not boredom that causes depression or burnout. It's the endless escape from boredom that numbs us. We think constant busyness protects us from despair, when in reality busyness is slowly killing feeling itself. That numbness is what we later call depression, chronic fatigue, or feeling lost. The price of never giving ourselves a pause is losing ourselves. On the other hand, allowing boredom, sitting with the discomfort instead of rushing away, is one of the deepest and bravest acts of self-care. The mind, like the body, needs time to breathe, to recover, to rearrange scattered fragments into a more whole picture. Even further, boredom doesn't just bring emotions. It brings the questions we've been dodging. What am I actually doing with my life? Why does all of this feel so important or completely meaningless? Am I really living or just following someone else's script? Those questions don't come with pretty, instant answers. They demand raw honesty, long patience, and the courage to sit in not knowing. Jung saw boredom as one of the most powerful entry points to individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming a whole, authentic self. Because individuation isn't born from a packed calendar, stacked achievements, or outside approval. It's born in the moments when the masks fall off and we meet ourselves naked. No filters, no defenses. We build routines, careers, identities, all for safety, for control. But boredom gently yet firmly tears down those walls. When we're truly bored, we can't hide behind titles, positions, or endless to-do lists anymore. We're left alone with ourselves, and yes, that's terrifying. But that's exactly where real growth begins. That's where we finally hear the voice of the soul we've been drowning out with noise. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own souls. Carl Jung. Society punishes us for stopping. From childhood, we're taught that busyness is a badge of honor. Productivity is the measure of worth. Don't waste time. Stay focused. Keep moving. Yet the people brave enough to make room for boredom, who stop running long enough to listen, often discover that their values become clearer. Their choices become more intentional. Their lives start aligning with something deeper than mere survival or proving themselves. So, how do we start embracing boredom instead of fighting it? Here are a few gentle steps you can try, one at a time, without pressure. 1. When the wave of boredom comes, don't run. Resist the urge to immediately fill it with phone, music, or another task. Let it settle. Just 5 minutes is already powerful. 2. Try a small digital fast, 1 hour in the morning or during dinner with no screens. Let your mind wander freely. 3. Turn waiting into mindfulness practice at the checkout line, at red lights, at the bus stop. Don't rush to fill the silence. 4. Give yourself one agenda-free block each week. No plans, no to-do list. See what rises from within. 5. Keep a boredom journal. When boredom hits, write down whatever thoughts or feelings appear. Over time, the patterns become clues from your shadow. 6. Walk in nature without headphones, without destination. Let the wind, bird song, and smell of earth bring you back to the present. These aren't hidden productivity hacks. They're gentle invitations to meet a fuller, truer, more alive version of you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your stillness. You don't have to justify doing nothing, because doing nothing isn't empty, it's full. It's the space where the soul finally exhales, where the mind tidies itself, where creativity finds the wings it's kept folded for so long. Together, we've uncovered the truth that's been hiding behind boredom all along. It's not the enemy, not weakness, not wasted time, but the gateway to natural creativity, deep emotional healing, shadow integration, and authentic meaning. From the childhood lesson that wrongly labeled silence as failure, to the realization that endlessly escaping boredom is what truly numbs us. Boredom is the most patient, most honest spiritual teacher we have. It invites us home to our true self through Jung's loving process of individuation. By stopping the flight from emptiness, we discover wholeness, clarity, and freedom we've been searching for in all the wrong places. Now let me ask you softly, like a friend sitting beside you on a quiet afternoon. When was the last time you truly gave yourself permission to be bored, without a single drop of guilt? Has boredom ever led you to an insight that changed the direction of your life, or does it still feel too heavy to face? Share in the comments, whether it's a long story you need to let out, a tiny new insight, or just one sentence. I'm starting to learn how to be still without fear. You are not alone on this path. If this reflection touched something deep in your heart, share this video with one person you know is exhausted from running nonstop. Maybe a friend, a sibling, a coworker who forgot how to stop. And let's keep growing together. Hit subscribe, turn on the Metacita bell, so whenever you need a reminder that stillness is beautiful and healing, there will be an open-armed space waiting to hold you exactly as you are. Thank you for daring to be here, daring to feel the emptiness, daring to meet yourself without masks. You're doing something incredibly brave and incredibly beautiful. You're learning to live, not just survive. And that is already more than enough. That is already so beautiful.